I see Sanjeet Shetty, one of our partners at the event. Come on up. And Preeti Davra, who's here all the way from Singapore. Both of them entrepreneurs in their own way, two good friends of mine, friends of the festival. Come on up, friends with each other also. Come on up. Come on up, come on up, sit. Just, we'll chat. Come on, come on, come on, come on. So, Sanjeet is, you know, you've been seeing very unusual male allies all morning. From the young boy who came on stage to talk about sexual violence in the family, to, of course, Rajkumar Rao, to so many voices we've heard this morning. And Sanjeet is somebody who's doing extraordinary work in breaking the taboo around menopause. Yeah. We talk so much about, you know, menstruation and the stigma, and we have a full panel coming up on it a little later in the afternoon. But I thought I'd take, since we have a few minutes, grab you now. What makes a man get into this space? How did you think of it? Guys, pipe down at the back.
See, first of all, I must say thanks to you. You know, I'm such a fan.
Thank you.
You converted me last year.
Oh, thank you.
This is my second year, and I think I'm a fan for life, you know.
Thank you.
But I must also, you know, really thank everyone here because, you know, when you go back home today, just give your mothers or whomever has brought you up such a big hug because women all through have just taken care of someone else.
Yeah.
It's always someone else.
Yeah.
It's the children, it's the parents. If they're not pissed off with their husband, it's their husband at times. But, you know, but it's always about someone else. So, you know, it's never about themselves. So I was surprised to hear every woman will go through this phase of perimenopause and menopause. They will go through it for half of their life.
Yeah.
Through 40 to 50 symptoms.
Yeah.
Educated women still don't know how to deal with it. And it really has serious implications from cardiovascular issues to osteoporosis to...
Why do you think we don't talk about it?
I have no idea. Because, you know, I mean, I guess it's stigma that, you know, it comes with old age. You know, it's just, I mean, my closest friends are women and they won't talk to me about it. And so...
Preeti, we're that age. Are we not talking? Are we in denial? Is there a lot of ignorance?
I think it's ignorance, and I think it's our culture that says everything is a phase in life, and this is a natural phase in life. We are going through this, whatever happens to the body happens. But if we are equipped with better knowledge of what we are going through and how we can address it, I think this decade will go easier. I can speak personally from my own perspective. I am going through menopause, and it leads to insomnia, it leads to all the things that you're just saying.
Oh my God, you can't sleep. I mean, I was always insomniac. I can no longer tell whether it's my craziness or my hormones.
It's probably both. It's probably both. But everybody who's here in the audience and is dealing with it, I genuinely encourage you to actually look at the work that Sanjeet is doing because it's really very good.
Thanks.
So Sanjeet, in terms of, you know, breaking the taboo around this subject, you know, is there anybody here who wants to talk? I know we have a full conversation coming up, but if you want to share your story, like if you want to talk about perimenopause or menopause, there isn't enough even information that you can necessarily trust. Nobody talks to you about it. I see you, come up. You're this is your lucky day, Rajkumar Rao, and then here you are again.
Yes. So I think talking about this topic is really, really important. I don't know why are we not talking? Why is there no so much?
You tell us, why are we not talking?
We are not talking because I think it has been, we have been raised like that. You know, when I got my first period, I was covered by 3 girls and I was taken to the washroom. I was in just standard 7 at that time and I didn't know. I said, I didn't invite it. I am not the one to tell it, you know, come inside my body and just flow out or whatever. Yeah. And at that time only I was feeling that, you know, I have always had my guys as my best friends. And then, but, you know, when I was taken to the washroom, don't tell them, don't tell anything. So I was surprised. I said, why is this world not ready? I mean, what is it? We are getting education. I am also very surprised when there is a lot of hue and cry about girl education. Girl has to get educated, dude. I mean...
Yeah, but these are basic things that don't happen,
so I think
right?
They're not happening.
I think it has to do also with the lack of this association of menopause with a loss of women's sexuality.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I
yes.
think that this sort of fear that if we tell the world that we are menopausal, then we lose our sexuality, sensuality, and I think that's very, it's a genuine fear.
Yeah.
And nobody is really talking about it in a way to say, well, look at you and look at me, and we're not
Yeah.
losing any of this.
Yeah.
So
Or
I
anything
think,
else.
Or anything else.
Yeah.
So do you agree that that's...
Totally, and if you speak to the leading gynacs, they tell you the same thing, that don't ever think that, age should stop you, sexually. And sometimes people think this just puts a stop to that. Yes, of course, you cannot have children, but that doesn't mean, there's so much more you can
And you
do.
don't know where science will evolve to.
Exactly,
Tomorrow we're already in
exactly,
the space
exactly.
of, frozen embryos, frozen eggs, and all the rest of that.
Exactly.
Sanjeet, when you got into this space, what are you hoping to achieve? I know since you started, the community has only grown. Talk a little bit about what you're hoping to achieve.
So again, it all starts with the conversation. You got to.
How did you start this? Why did a guy get into the menopause space?
I tell them why not.
No, but
Yeah.
was there a
So-
conversation?
no,
that they
I
made?
mean, yeah, my mother silently suffered it, later on when I had conversations with her. And then that's when she said, listen, she has so many issues today. She's in her 70s and she has issues with migraines and stuff, which all could have been solved if she had known about this when she was in her 30s. So I said, and I think I've become such a better person.
Yeah.
I've become a much better husband. I've become a much better friend.
Yeah.
Because I relate to it so much better. Because a woman doesn't have a gash or a rash or a wound, because it's
Yeah.
all internal. Sometimes, I mean, you talk about insomnia. That's just one. But you just sometimes feel low, and
Yeah.
you cannot explain it, right? And I mean, I was talking to someone who's a leading HR professional, and she said so many women in India, when they're reaching the peak of their careers, are actually dropping off. There is data about, women dropping off from the workplace in the UK,
Yeah.
but nothing in India. But women in top positions in India are actually feeling lesser, confident than their male counterparts, and then they become consultants,
Yeah. Let me ask both of you in the end. Guys, I really need some little bit of silence. What do you want to say to the men and women both in the audience? Preeti, I'll start with you.
I think that actually these periods is
Yeah.
the ultimate symbol of fertility. And without fertility, there wouldn't be life, there wouldn't be creativity. So we should celebrate both the onset of and the moving away of, because it's liberating to know that you no longer have to, it's your sexuality is not intertwined with it, and actually it liberates you to have
Yeah.
partners without worrying about being pregnant. But at the same time, it's also when it comes on, I think our culture really celebrates periods. We have a goddess called Bhudevi. And
I mean, we're contradictory because we both celebrate
Yeah.
and stigmatize, which is the paradox.
But I think it's time for also the boys to be given the vocabulary and the girls to talk about it.
Yeah. Sanjeet, closing word to you.
And I think people should start talking about it. There are many, like what we do at Mirror, there are other companies that have communities. Reach out. See, it starts with the talk, then it becomes the chatter, then it becomes the noise. And when there's a noise, there are solutions. And when there are solutions, everyone gains. So we've got to start talking about it.
And husbands and sons and brothers in the house should actually proactively come and ask. I would like my son Sahil to ask me, Mom, are you going through this?
Correct.
Yeah.
What can I do for you? I
But-
would like my husband to do the same thing.
It's amazing. So many people ask me, can you come and talk to our husbands? And I said, I'd love to. I'd
Yeah.
love to. And I love to be that guy
Yeah.
talking about this. I'm loving it. This is
Fabulous.
the best part of my face.
Let's hear it for Sanjeet Shetty and Preeti Davra. Thank you so much. Thank you.